We're back, bitches.
Uh-oh. Hey, hey. Okay. 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 So, all right. Shut up. For real. Shut up. Shut up. Hello, you bad motherfuckers. What is good? It's good to be back. Oh, it's good to be back. That was You Should by Patricios. I don't fucking know. It's some shit in the YouTube audio library. I'm so excited. I'm finally back. It's me. It's your boy, Uncle Didi and Dylan James. We're back with another episode. It's only been 8 months. Okay? This is a little update video. I'm going to let y'all know what exactly happened. And let's get started. So here's the deal. In December, we were going to do it was going to be like an hour long. No, we were going to do like 3 hour long. For New Year's Eve, we were going to have this huge live show. We had a place picked out. We were going to do this awesome thing. We were going to have a bunch of people come through. And then like everybody just kind of started bailing. And I was like, you know what? Let's just have a little New Year's Eve get together and it'll be fine. Just look at me. I'm over here still trying to adjust shit. Just getting started on this flipping studio. I know it's been 8 months. Just hear me out, okay? So New Year's Eve, people start bailing. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just have a little get together. Well, then everybody bails on the little get together. So I just sat at the house and me and Tori just chilled. It was fun. It was a good time. I think we ended up having people over. That was at the apartment. So whatever. I was kind of bummed out, but I didn't really care. So this is 2020? New Year's Eve 2020, I think? Yeah. Because this is 2021. It's almost August of 2021. It's been so long since I've done this. I'm nervous. Can you tell? It's weird. Anyway, so James Carter calls me up one day and he's like, bro. So, all right, let me back up. So there's a day that I worked on I put it on YouTube. It's our 59th episode. It was a 2021 compilation video of like all the best moments. And I took stuff from where we just had audio and put it in there, just so it'd be up on YouTube for people that have maybe people that have only seen us on YouTube, maybe people that have heard the audio version and wanted to rehear it, whatever. So I put a couple audio clips in there. 3 hours and 5 minutes, 33 seconds this video was, right? So you guys don't understand, like whenever one of these videos comes out and say it's an hour long, okay? If I have two different cameras, it is a huge, huge pain in the ass for me because I have to go in and I have two video clips that are lined up, right? So I have to clip where someone else starts talking. I have to clip it right here and cut it off where they stop talking. So the camera changes. I'm not like people have these boards where they press a button and it just goes back and forth camera to camera. Well, I just don't want to spend $500. I'm sure I can find a cheaper one, but the one that I saw that I wanted is like $500, and I just don't want to spend $500. You know what? I'll just work. I'll do the time. So whenever I make these hour-long videos, they take me 3 or 4 hours to put up. Okay, so it's really frustrating. Well, the 3-hour video took me more like 12 hours to work on. And it was a huge pain in the ass. I was like, I'm never doing this again. No more compilation videos. You're probably not going to get one this year, I'm going to be honest, because, it's already almost, October. So anyway, I posted this video, episode number 59. You can still go see it. It's still on our YouTube 6 months ago. And it got 56 views. I spent all this time busting my ass. I'm not going to lie. I was butthurt. I was super depressed about it. It really like bummed me out because I was thinking, for sure this one's going to blow up. Like even Jennifer's, I was expecting her second episode to blow up and only got 200 views. And I was like, you know what? Compared to her first video, like what happened, bro? So I was super butthurt, super depressed about it. And now that I'm looking at it, like our videos don't really have a whole lot of views anyway. That was actually high compared to the other ones. So I don't really know. Like, I haven't looked at the numbers for just the audio versions, so I don't really know. But it just bummed me out that I spent all that time on it and like it felt like nobody cared, you know. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I was upset about it. I was butthurt. You can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call me getting into my feelings. That's fine. I don't care. Make fun of me. Please do, actually. The more you comment on the video, the more it gets out. So yeah, negative comments, fuck it, do it. So that happened, and I was butthurt about it. Well, then one afternoon, James Carter calls me, right? And he's like, "Bro, are you sitting down because you're gonna wanna fucking take a seat?" And I was like, "What's up, bro?" And I'm gonna tell this story. I'm gonna say the dude's name. I don't want you guys to think that I'm throwing shade. I don't want you guys to think that I'm mad about it. I'm way past over it. I no longer care. It's totally fine. But I'm telling you the story because this is part of why things happened the way they did. And I want everybody to get a good understanding of why it's taken me 7 months to put out another episode. So he calls me up one day and he's like, "Hey man, I'm not going to list the circumstances, but James Carter calls me and he's like, bro, Maddie Mullins is interested in doing the podcast." For those of you who don't know, Maddie Mullins is the front man, singer, whatever you want to call it, for the band Memphis Mayfire. And Memphis Mayfire, I don't know, I'm not sure what the emphasis is on. But anyway, so that's fucking huge. He's interested in the podcast. He wants to come do an episode. Keep in mind, this is January. So I message him, you know, I'm like, "Hey man, really big fan of your music, really big fan of all your solo stuff that you do." He's got some really good solo stuff. We're going to talk about that. I was like, "I'm a huge fan. I just wanted to let you know, I'm really excited about you coming on. If you're interested, you know, I'm not going to be upset if you're not. Just say so, whatever." I didn't say all that. But I had that mindset like, "Look, dude, if you're not interested, tell me to fuck off. Absolutely. I don't care." So then I listened to all their music front to back, inside and out. I listened to all of his solo stuff. I watched a bunch of his interviews that he had on YouTube because I didn't want to ask the same questions everybody had been asking. So I sat down and I wrote out all these really well thought out questions, and I had like really good talking points. And at one point he was like, "Man, we can even do it at my house," because he's got a little studio set up in his house. I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do this." Well, then somebody in his family passed away, and he's like, "Hey man, you know, I've got a funeral, you know, the family's in mourning, you know, we're gonna do this, you know, I'll hit you up when we're done with that." And I was like, "All right, cool." A week goes by, I don't hear from him. 2 weeks goes by, I don't hear from him. And I was like, you know what, maybe he needs some extra time. Maybe it was super close, whatever. A month goes by, I don't hear from him. And then I was like, okay. That's when it started to hit me that like, this shit ain't gonna happen, right? And I had gotten myself so hyped up about it. And this is why you don't have expectations, kids. This is why. No, I had gotten my hopes up really high about it. And I was super excited. I was ready. I had all these questions thought out. Everything was going to be so good. It's going to be fun. And then we just never heard back from him. And that really bummed me out. So that on top of the 12 hours that I spent that only got 50 views, like I was just fucking devastated, bro. Like I can't even begin to explain. Like my mental health was already in a shit state anyway because I lost my job at GM because of COVID. And like I was just sitting at the house all the time, just in my thoughts. And I got really fucking dark. Like it was bad. Like I had so much anxiety. Like I hated everything. I was so bummed out. Well, that happened. And then we had a friend of ours that we had played music with before. You know, we'd gone to a bunch of their shows. I'm not going to name his name. It's not, I'm not throwing shade. I'm not talking shit. But we had a friend that was a preacher. And you know how me and Ethan are. Like we're not religious per se, but you know, we're savages. Like we just talk shit and we talk about pussies and dicks and stuff. And he's a preacher. So we was like, oh man, that'd be really interesting to have him come on. And you know, he reached out to us actually. And then that fell through. And again, not throwing shade. You know, everybody's got a busy schedule. Everybody's got things going on. It happens. It's not a big deal. But it was just one of the things that really added to, it was the icing on top of the cake, you know, the thing with Maddie falling through and then that episode not getting any love whatsoever. And then this happens and I'm like, dude, fuck this. Like I wanted to quit the podcast completely. And then Tori's like, no, you don't need to do that. Just, you know, tell everybody what happened and then go on about your business. Well, then in February, we got a new house. And okay, so like I've said, I did all this shit by myself. All this audio equipment here, I've countless fucking hours of research. Ethan helps out a lot. I'll give him that. But like when it comes to like editing the videos, there's not really anything he can do. You know, I just have to do it. So it's like on top of, you know, scheduling all the guests, running this audio equipment, and then like doing video and editing the videos, it's like it got to be so overwhelming. And I felt like I was spending way too much fucking time on it and not getting anything out of it. You know, we're not getting paid. I don't expect to. I don't expect you guys to send us money. I don't expect us to get ads because we don't have any traction, you know. It just got to the point where it was so overwhelming and I just felt like I was getting nothing out of it. And now I see that, like, how badly I fucking missed it. Like, this is so much fun just sitting here bullshitting in front of a camera for 12 people to listen to. Shout out to everybody that has reached out to me, though, for real. There's too many people to name, but I do want to give a special shout out to Montana. So I'll get into this a little bit. I was working with a friend of mine, or someone I thought was a friend, and there was a long period of time, like I said, my mental health was fucking deteriorating, and this job was a lot to do with it, kind of like a behind the scenes hidden factor. And it was just, I don't know, I just wasn't happy. And I had to get a second job because we got this new house in like February, right? So I just wasn't able to make ends meet with that job. So I got a second job, and, you know, having two jobs and moving into a new house. I basically moved everything into this house. Other than like the big stuff, I pretty much moved everything in this house myself. And we had a lot of shit. Like, let me tell you, when we moved in here, like, everything was jam-packed. And we lived in a fucking apartment that was like half the square footage as this. So you can imagine how much shit we moved. And on top of that, like, this house is full. And we're still not really unpacked on everything. So I'm just saying, like, we had so much shit. So anyway, I got a second job. I ended up hating the first job, and I quit. And I started at another job that just wasn't paying enough money, so I ended up quitting there. And I most recently started at a restaurant. It's really awesome. I'm not going to name the name. I'll probably talk about it later on in a different episode. But Montana came up there to see me, and we just chatted. And the first thing he says to me, "Where the fuck is my podcast, bro?" I was like, "I'm just coming, I promise." He's like, "No, I don't give a shit." And then I gave him his food and everything. Everything was good. He liked it. What was I going to say? He liked everything. And then on my check, he wrote, "Here's some money to fund the next studio so I can get my fucking fix." Like, shout out to Montana, bro. I appreciated that. I took a picture of it. I saved that fucking receipt. Like, I still have it. That shit made me so happy. Shout out to everybody else that reached out to me. Not that everybody doesn't deserve their own individual shout outs. I'll get to that. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, Montana. I appreciate you, bro. So with that, I would like to give a shout out to the And Your Point Is podcast. You guys should go check them out. Some guys that I went to high school with, really cool dudes, really funny podcast. I've been listening to the shit out of them. They're on episode number 16, I think it is. And like every episode that they've had has been a banger. Those guys are awesome. Hopefully maybe I can work out a little thing, get on their podcast and maybe do something with them. Maybe have them come to our podcast. That would be fun. But anyway, so moving on, we're going to have some new, different ideas coming onto the podcast. Before we were all like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about politics." You know what, bitch? We're going to talk about fucking politics. If I think it's funny and I've got a joke to make, or if we've got something we want to say, we're going to talk about fucking politics. We're going to have a bunch of episodes where it's going to be just me and Tori, or just me and Ethan. We're not going to do a whole lot of guests anymore. And that's one of the things that I wanted to say about the Andrew Point Is podcast. They don't do real guest heavy stuff. And that's something that I found out is really hard to keep up with, like, especially when it comes to like schedule conflicts and stuff. Because like I said, I'm not throwing shade to anybody. I appreciate everybody who's been on the podcast, and I appreciate everybody that was going to, and, you know, shit came up, whatever. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, like, it's so much harder to deal with when you've got other people thrown into the mix on top of myself, Ethan, and Tori. Like, when you've got to try to get everybody's schedules to mesh together, and then on top of that, to try to release an episode every week, like, it's just difficult, son. So what I'm getting at is it's probably not going to be a whole lot of guests on here, so fucking get used to it. You're going to see my big ugly mug. constantly. One of the things that we're going to do is Tori and I will be doing movie reviews. Now, we're totally ripping off another podcast by doing this, but it's not going to be every episode. We're probably going to do 1 or 2 a month at the most, but we're going to do basically the way it's going to work is her and I are going to sit down and watch a movie, and we're going to like take notes on the movie while we're watching it, and we're going to write down like jokes or, you know, like shit that we see about the movie that we like or dislike or things we think are funny. So we're going to write down all the little jokes and stuff, and then we're going to bring that to the podcast, and we're going to have like the Wikipedia page pulled up. So we'll go through like the script of the movie, not necessarily the script, but like the plot from Wikipedia. So that way we can, you know, you guys can follow along as the movie goes on, and we're just ripping our little jokes and talking our shit and doing whatever. We're also going to be having a audio only episodes again, which that's just to help me with my mental state because because they're just so much easier. And not only that, is it a good thing for me, it's going to be a good thing for you guys because we won't be limiting our episodes to 1 hour. We'll be our episodes could be up to 3 hours like we used to do with the audio only episodes. And more than likely, when we have a guest is probably when we're going to do the audio only episodes. Not to throw shade on any guests or anything. Not, you know, it's just difficult to confine a conversation, especially with somebody that I haven't talked to in a long time. And then like the whole thing with Pokey, like the whole second half of the audio was fine, but the video just, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it just didn't record or if it got deleted or what. But something happened with it, and we just don't have that video. So then I had to release a 30-minute episode when we had an hour worth of content. And there's no telling, you know, how much time I wasted trying to find or repair that video, and it was just frustrating. So anyway, enough about me bitching. I hope you guys enjoy this little update. I know I promised it. I know I posted April 1st, and I said it wasn't a prank. It wasn't a prank, I promise. It's just taking a little longer than we expected. As you can see, there's nothing behind me. There's just a plain-ass wall. The studio is coming together. I've pretty much got everything done. I made these really badass wood sound diffusers. They're not actually going to... Well, one of them's going to be on camera. It's going to be behind me. Tori painted it for me, which thank you, Tori, for that. I appreciate it. It looks fucking dope. You guys are going to love it. But none of that's going to get seen on the audio only episodes, which I guess I could have been doing audio only until we got this shit done. But we're not going to talk about it, all right? Listen. Thank you guys for watching. Here's what we're going to do. Episode 60 is going to be me and Tori. We're going to do a movie review. And then the next episode, it's going to be me and Ethan. We're going to talk a lot about stuff. And it's going to be, you know, it could be up to 3 hours long. You don't know. Me and Ethan haven't had a sit-down chat in a long time. So we're going to do that. It's going to be fun. Fuck it. We might throw a guest in. Who cares? I might just scratch everything I just said and we just go back to the way we used to do it. Who fucking knows? It's a new year. New me. It's like, bitch, it's August. Ain't nobody holding up to no New Year's resolutions. Fuck off. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Please share this podcast with your friends. I want this podcast to be a weekly occurrence. I want to do 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes a week for you guys. The more that I can get out of this podcast, the more I can give you. And that's, again, I'm not saying I want you guys to give me money. I'm saying I want more and more people to listen to this, to discover this, so that way we can get ads and I can do this full time. You know, if I can do this for a living, there's no fucking telling. The sky is the limit. If we can get a hold of fucking Maddie Mullins, who's to say we can't get a hold of fucking Travis Tritt? Maybe I could have Randy Travis in the studio. I don't know. Y'all got to help me. Y'all got to help me blow this thing up, man. We got to make this thing huge. And trust me, like, it's we're going to work on it. We're going to do better. I promise. That's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate everything y'all have done for me. My mental health is getting better. I promise. You know, that's it. That's it for me. Sorry for clicking my pen. I'm just nervous habits. You know what I mean? It's been a long time since I've done this shit. I've been feeling weird. I've been like super nervous about it for like a week now. I've been like, I'm going to go in there and do it. I'm just going to do it. And then today I went and like, I was like, I'm doing it today. Literally like everything on this whole table is just junk right here. It's like shit I got to put away because I just like cleared off enough space just so the camera can see me. Look, I even got new mic stands in here. Look at that shit. I bought this badass fucking laptop, like $2,000 laptop, just so I can like edit videos for you guys. Like it's gonna be real. Like I'm not even kidding when I say I've almost spent $10,000 on this podcast. So if it doesn't work, thank you guys so much. I love you, like a lot. Like I like you. You know what I'm saying? Like we should be together. I'm just kidding. Tori's gonna kill me. Shout out to Toto. You're the best. This is Lando.